Welcome to the Majors and Quinn Facebook page and or YouTube channel, depending on where you are watching from. We're very excited to be talking to you, our last live broadcast of 2020. And today it's some booksellers. So my name is Annie. I'm the events coordinator at Majors and Quinn. You may have seen me in our author events as well. But I am here today with two of my friends from work, Kathleen and Karen, two wonderful booksellers. And so we're really excited to talk to you about recommendations like we have been doing a few times in the past several months. But today's theme is a little more about last minute gifts. So we're going to talk to you about some things that we like, some things that we want to gift to people, but we're going to give you some recommendations if you have left things a little bit to the last minute. You know, what can you find at Majors and Quinn, both in the store and on the website? Just a reminder that if you are watching and you are in the Twin Cities area, you can definitely come to Majors and Quinn and shop in person. We do allow that. Of course, you have to bring your mask, wear your mask, and we are limiting the number of people allowed in the store at a time, but we are open 10 to 9 daily. But do please check our website and our social media for our holiday hours if you want to stop by on Christmas Eve or Christmas itself. We are closed that day, and we are open for limited hours on Christmas Eve. So all of that information can be found on our website, which is www.majorsandquinn.com. As you may know, if you've been watching these virtual events with us, all you have to do is head over there and you should find all the information about our hours, holiday, COVID policies, and information about how to get things shipped to your home, how to pick up things for next day pickup, all of that. I should also mention that if you are going to shop on our wonderful website, please know that if you are shopping for the holidays, some shipping deadlines have already passed. However, if you are shopping tonight, you do still have time to potentially get things by Christmas if you order it priority. That is our expedited shipping option. And of course, again, if you are in the area, you can still order in stock items for next day pickup. And just drive up to the back door of Majors and Quinn and pick up your order once you get that confirmation email, once you get the email that it's ready. So lots of ways to support our small independent business here in South Minneapolis, and we cannot thank you enough for doing that. So without any further rambling about the housekeeping of it all, we're going to talk to you about some final bookseller recommendations of the year. Why don't we start today with Karen?
Okay. Well, I'll start with some children's books because we have more than one round to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So because the solstice is coming up on the 21st, I wanted to highlight this book by one of my favorite authors, Susan Cooper. And it's just a beautiful book about the solstice, talking about how we may come from different cultures and different traditions, but nature kind of unites us, and all different cultures celebrate the shortest day of the year, and the winter solstice. So by Susan Cooper, The Shortest Day. I'm not used to this camera. There we go. So that's really beautiful. And one of the reasons that I even know about that is because one of my favorite book series was done by Susan Cooper. These are ancient paperbacks. They all have new updated covers. But it's called The Dark is Rising, and we've got the first and second book in the series in stock in the store. So it's a nice gift that you can give your preteen, your teenager, and if they like it, there's other books you can add to the series for future gift giving opportunities. A couple other children's books that I really, really love, and they're much newer, is Julian is a Mermaid.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably Julian. Is a Mermaid. Really, really cute little book. And he dresses up as a mermaid. His aunt helps him with it, and they go to the mermaid parade on Coney Island. So if you're familiar with any of that, it's just a delightful book about letting kids be kids and supporting them in what they want to do. And so it's really, really wonderful. She then wrote another book called Juliana, A Wedding, and cute little story about he and a little girl who are both in a wedding, and before the wedding they're playing and she gets all muddy and dirty, and so he helps her get cleaned up and dresses her in kind of half of his outfit so that they both look okay for the wedding. And again, the adults don't get angry that she got dirty. It's just like, hey, okay, let's go, we're going to be in a wedding. And so really, really cute little story. We have a lot of books from local authors, and here's one of them, The Alpha Planet. It's a cute illustrated storybook, alphabet book. And on each of the pages that features an alphabet letter, there's an alpha bug to find. So it's a combination of a cute story, good illustrations, and kind of a Where's Waldo kind of, hey, let's try and find the alpha bug on a page. And one other kid's book, and I'll save the others for the next time around. Another local author who does nice little chapter books for that, maybe up to age 8. Can certainly be a read aloud, but for the early reader who's able to read on their own but not quite ready for some of the independent reader books, might need a little help. It's a good story for them.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Karen. And I should mention that, of course, the website, majorsandquinn.com, you can search any of these by title or author. And a few of those that Karen mentioned, I actually are already on our blog in a list of children's and young adult book recommendations. So if you head to our blog, that is a link you can click from our website, and you'll see a list of books, which includes some of those that Karen just mentioned. So easy peasy. What about you, Kathleen?
I have a few. I will save some because we are going a few rounds. So my first one, it just came out. It's kind of a hot sell right now. It's called Having and Being Had by Eula Biss, who I believe is already known as a pretty famous essayist and writer. So the first thing I'll say about this book is it deals with being human under capitalism. And if that sounds off-putting, put that aside for a second, because it is a bunch of beautiful meditations on being human under capitalism and still having that spirit survive. She's comparing when she was much younger and didn't have like any furniture, anything in her house, like any food, anything like that, like had some cardboard boxes and like an apartment with nothing in it, to like now she's a mother of a couple of kids, she's driving them to school, she's, what do I get for my kitchen? What's new? And she's kind of asking the question, like, can we all stay human in this society? And like, spoiler alert, the answer is for her, yes. That's not a very big spoiler though. She writes very delicately. So this could have been like a really, really like hit you over the head book, or it could have been really problematic. But I actually found it just like very lovely and meditative to read. I would say it's best read with like a cup of tea. Each essay is like just a few pages long. So it's also really good for like if you want to do kind of a daily meditation thing with it, you can sit down with your cup of tea every morning and just read a couple, which is what I did. It's kind of between like memoir and nonfiction, so it's great for like poetic folks in your life, or if you have someone who reads a lot of like very serious nonfiction and you want to get them something like a little lighter that's like a little more hopeful and maybe a little more holiday like. So there's that one. Having and Being Had, would definitely recommend. I've been told to read her other stuff too, but I haven't yet, so just this one.
Yeah, that reminds me of sort of the conceit behind one of our staff picks. I think it was Christine's pick that she was promoting a lot, was Jenny Odell's How to Do Nothing. I think that would be a good pairing if you know anyone who loved that book. Maybe try this new Eula Biss one. Cool. Want to do one more, Kathleen, or do you want me to fire up 9?
I will do one more.
All right.
So I also have kind of in that vein, and if you don't want to pay the full price for a new hardcover, Bluets by Maggie Nelson. Is also a series of essays, and I thought of it because it's kind of similar to Having and Being Had. So if that sounds good to you, but you don't want to pay that like slightly higher hardcover price, or if you want to pair it up, Bluets by Maggie Nelson is a beautiful collection of poetry essays on the color blue. And that might sound boring, but I read this entire thing in one night and I cried while I was reading it. It's just really beautiful. It kind of connects every possible human experience that you could have to the color blue. And it kind of makes you realize that everything as simple as even a color is essential to humanity. And this is definitely for like, you have someone very, very poetical into that kind of thing, and they've like read all the poetry already, or you're like, I don't know about poetry. You can get them this one.
Nice.
Yeah, so I have been on a few of these live streams talking about my picks for the year. All of those still stand. If you want to go back and look at any of those. So some of my favorite fiction of the year was like Charles Yu's Interior Chinatown, which just won the National Book Award for fiction. So yeah. And A Girl is a Body of Water by Jennifer Nansubuga Mukumbi. And, just there's a lot of good fiction that came out this year. Memorial by Brian Washington, amazing book. But I am going to focus this time on like some gifty things. So I want to throw a couple things at you. I also think too that, sometimes people we're a bookstore and we are committed to being a bookstore. We're always going to have more books than anything else in the store, but we also have stuff that you might not realize that are kind of just like fun little extras, fun little gifts. Many people now know that we have puzzles, which of course have been super popular this year. But of course, now we're like every other retail establishment in the world. We now carry cloth face masks. That's just life now.
And we have really, really cute kids ones.
Yeah, we have really cute kids ones.
Cute.
And I wanted to particularly point out these because they are, it's kind of glary, but they're by a local artist, Adam Turman. You might be familiar with his work. He's done many murals all over the city. He does a lot of work for a lot of our breweries here in the Twin Cities, a lot of like commissioned art for them, and also just a lot of in-store work for them. And we've been selling postcards and things with his designs on it for many years. But yeah, he has a line of face masks now, and I just had to show this one because it's like the most Midwestern phrase ever. Oh, I'm just gonna sneak right past you. And that's just like a very good phrase for these times too, when you are supposed to stay as far away from the person you're walking past as possible. So these little face masks, they're available in the store, and they are $11.99. And we also have games. Besides puzzles, we have games. And I am super intrigued by this one. When it showed up on the lists when we were doing our orders, I was like, what is this? It's called Village Green. And it kind of reminds me, the premise of it sort of reminds me of like a cozy British mystery, those like Midsummer Murders and things like that, where it's in a small town and everyone's like having tension with each other about the garden party or about the cricket match or like some local thing. And so the gist of this is that you are a gardener and you are trying to win the Village Green of the Year competition, and you're supposed to like fight it out with other people. So it's one of those card games where you have a series of cards and like play them or trade them and do some fun, low stakes backstabbing. So I was going to bring this home to try it out for the holidays, visiting my family. Not going to do that this year, but I did still pick up a copy for myself to try and play it. It does say 1 to 5 players, so also adaptable for these times. You could play it by yourself if that's what's if that's your living situation right now. But yeah, I think this is super cute, and we have a lot of fun little card games like this that are maybe a break from the puzzle activity or whatever other tabletop game you're trying out these days. So those are my 2 stocking stuffers, shall we say.
Nice.
Very cute.
Can I go again?
Yeah, round
Okay.
2.
I'm one of those people that always has an audiobook in progress as well as a physical paper book. And yesterday was a day that I was very grateful that was my practice, because I had to go to the dentist unexpectedly. And so I always have my earphones in so I can be distracted by everything else that's going on. So I wanted to be sure everybody knew that you can support Majors and Quinn and get audiobooks, and they also make a nice gift. So you can get someone a membership, be a nice last minute thing that you can do totally online and still support your local indie bookstore when you do so. Annie, do you want to say more about how they can find that information?
Yeah, absolutely. I will put a link in here as well. If you go to our website, on the homepage, there's like a banner that gives you a lot of information. One of those is for a link to our storefront, our Libro FM storefront. We've talked about it on these live streams before. I'm putting it in the comments right now. But basically what happens is if you go to that website, it is the Majors and Quinn storefront. And that means if you sign up for an account from them, from that link, that means you'll be associated with Majors and Quinn. You can pick any indie bookstore as well as you like. And you can also change your affiliation at any time if you want to support, a different store. If you are in Minneapolis, but, miss the store that you used to go to all the time, you can absolutely do that. But yeah, the Majors and Quinn storefront is available there. And they, like Karen said, you can have a membership, or you can just buy a la carte. You can buy a single audiobook, and you can also gift memberships or individual audiobooks as well. So a really great gift, especially if you're worried about shipping time. Great electronic gift. I think if you gift a membership, I think a membership gets you one book per month, and it is $15. And they always have really, really great deals too. So you can do a trial month, you can give a month to someone, and then they can choose to sign on later, or you can just give them an ongoing membership. Lots of options. So yes, Libro FM, great audiobook idea.
We also have a whole wall in the store with gift ideas this time of year, and it's divided up by genre. So if you're able to come in and shop, that might be a good place to head to. It's where our travel books used to be. Since we're not traveling right now, we converted that to our gift area. But it's got some really nice, beautiful ideas. So if you know that someone likes mystery stories, but you don't know anything about that genre, it at least gives you a jumping off point. And any bookseller in the store would be happy to help you with that too. There's one of the things that we've had a lot of demand for over the course of the last 6 months have been books about race relations. And so this is just one example. Let me get the camera going to the right place here.
Yes.
This is hard to do.
I know. You got it.
So this is specifically about Minnesota, a good time for the truth. There's so many, and they're all just incredibly wonderful. And again, if you need any help picking out something, we're happy to help. This is a book that, How to Be a Good Creature. We had a customer who special ordered it, and I was processing special orders that day, and I thought, oh, this will be a beautiful book for a couple of people on my gift list. So I ordered a couple, and then we ordered some for the store. So again, a nice little gift book, little essays. I guess that's always nice for gifts, right, Kathleen? But just all about nature and how to be a good creature in the world, along with all the other creatures in the world. So just cute little hardcover book. This is another book that I got as a gift, and I don't think the person who's getting it is watching. I hope not. The Art of a Flask. So we've got books having to do with cocktails and beer and wine, and so for the appropriate person on your list, this might be a good thing. And this was one that I thought was just a little interesting, a little different. Obviously, anything you put in a flask, you can also put in a glass. So, but it was just a little different from your usual cocktail book. So I picked that out for one of the people on my list.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I should put a plug in here for the booksellers themselves. Like Karen was mentioning, we have this wall of gift recommendations, and it's stuff that was put there by the many booksellers we have at Majors and Quinn. And like, again, if you're able to come in the store and shop, as you might have in previous years, never underestimate like what the bookseller can do for you. So for example, if you're looking for something very specific, but it's become hard to find or we're out of it, of course, we're happy to special order or, do whatever we can to try and find that specific book. But also there's a lot of ways that booksellers can help you find something that will also work. So like Karen said, if someone likes mystery and you had one thing in mind, but maybe for whatever reason that thing isn't working, like we can help.
Yeah. And honestly, it's the favorite part of our day.
That's true.
Is when someone comes with a sticky issue that you can help them solve. We really enjoy that.
Really
and you can imagine how much we kind of miss that. I mean, obviously, we've been very lucky to have had some customers in the store and been able to have conversations with people over the last few months. But it's not as many as usual because we are, being very serious about limiting the number of people allowed in the store, for our customer safety and our staff safety. So please talk to us when you come inside. So anyway, great gift ideas. Karen, what about you, Kathleen?
Okay, I've got a couple more. So I was thinking about like what to do if the hot new bestseller is sold out. And we have this book that has been selling like wildfire called, and I'm going to mispronounce it, I think it's French, it's Perestroika in Paris. And it is supposed to be a really beautiful, heartwarming read about a horse who escapes and journeys through Paris and then befriends a little boy. And the little boy has to keep her a secret. And I believe it's written from the horse's perspective. And she befriends like a crow and like a squirrel. And those might be the wrong animals, but you get the gist. And just her journey along the way. I haven't gotten a chance to read that one yet. I think we sold out pretty much as soon as we got it in. And it's on back order right now. But I do have a couple of novels that are kind of about adventure and about found family, and are definitely like very well written, but still more on the lighter side. One of them I thought that I had, but I don't. So I'm going to show you this picture on my phone. New technology. It's called Less by Andrew Sean Greer. I know that we do have a lot of these, and we do have a lot of these in used. And it is about a famous author whose ex-boyfriend is getting married. And so instead of accepting an invite to the wedding or going and dealing with his emotions, he decides to take a worldwide book tour instead. And at first I thought it sounded kind of pretentious. I was like, okay, who has the money to do that? Like, really? But it turns out it is also a satire of itself. So it is a satire of the main character, and it's a satire of the book publishing industry, and it's kind of a satire of rom-coms in general. But it's all told from his perspective, and as he is going through like traveling, it starts to like steadily grow, and he visits some of his friends. He goes to various different places. So like if you are itching to travel, this is a really good book to be reading right now, because you can kind of experience some of those places through his eyes. And then I won't spoil the ending for you, but it is very sweet. It's very true to its characters. It's definitely like a good, solid, kind of chill adventure story. And I think it came out, I want to say 1 or 2 years ago, and it was kind of a surprise smash hit. Like, it's one of those, I wasn't expecting to like it, and then I was like, oh wow, now I can't stop reading this, I guess. So that's one of them. Another one, Stray City by Chelsea Johnson. Also good on adventure, also came out a couple of years ago. Also queer. This one is about lesbians in Portland. Sometimes I describe it to people that way and they're like, oh my God, sold. So Lesbians in Portland. So Andrea, or Andy, is kicked out of her biological family for coming out as queer. And when she's 24, she escapes her Midwestern Catholic childhood and runs away to Portland. And it is about the family she finds there, but it doesn't actually stop there. So what happens is, and again, this is one I thought might be really problematic, but it was actually done very well, is she is ostracized by some of the lesbian community she finds there for having a one-night stand with a guy and getting pregnant. And what it does is it flashes between her perspective then, her perspective as a kid, and her perspective 10 years later when some of her community has left and some of them has stayed. And then it also goes between the perspective of her ex-boyfriend and her daughter at about 10 years old. So again, if you're wanting to go somewhere like Portland, you should read this book. It does have some really good descriptions of the city and just the spirit of the city. It's all about found family, which I think is a big necessity of the holidays. And it will definitely take you away from your troubles for a little bit.
Nice.
Yay. Awesome. Yes, definitely. I was going to say I don't have anything specific picked out, but just like one of the things that I was thinking about today was like, okay, escapism is always like a popular thing, especially in like, Minnesota winter as things get colder and darker, but like particularly this year. So if you have any sort of inkling that you might be looking for yourself or for someone else, sci-fi, fantasy, romance, mystery, anything in that sort of non-realistic fiction or surreal fiction category. We've got so many people who read all those genres and would be so excited to help you. And also, of course, you can just go to our website and you can browse through categories as well. In case you did not know that, you can go to the homepage of our website, click browse, and then there's a tab that says all categories. Just go through there and you will find all of the different stuff we have on our shelves. So I have a couple more things sort of on I'm glad that Karen mentioned that we have books on cocktails and all of that. So I feel like I have not mentioned enough lately just how good our cookbook section is. We have a really, really large cooking section for an independent bookstore. We have used stuff, new stuff, discount stuff, and we have all cuisines. And we have food writing, and yeah, so there's all kinds of great options there. Whether you go in the store or browse on the website. But I did want to point this one out because cookbooks do tend to be something that if there's like a popular one of the season, they become kind of hard to find. Cookbooks are big and beautiful, and especially these days, they're often printed in full color. So reprints take a long time when things go out of stock. So we have lots of copies at the moment because this is a local author, Becky Melvey. She has a store and cooking school called The Abundant Kitchen. There's 2 locations in Minnesota. And we did a virtual event with her over the summer. It was awesome. It was our first ever virtual cooking demo, something that one of the rare things that we weren't able to do when we could do in-person events that we can do in virtual events is you can actually watch a cookbook author cook through a recipe in their home kitchen, which is really cool. So yeah, Becky's book, The Abundant Kitchen, it focuses on really simple, natural and seasonal ingredients, and it's beautifully illustrated throughout. So if you want to, also has these cool things like it's not just meals but also little like pantry projects like tarragon vinegar, all kinds of cool stuff. So if you are looking to get something, not only support a local business, this is supporting 2 local businesses because it would be Majors and Quinn and The Abundant Kitchen by a wonderful author, Becky Melvey. So that's a pick. And it's kind of nice. Like it's not one of those cookbooks that's like, here's 1,000 recipes that, you might cook 2 of them in your life. Like this, you could cook through this very easily, and there's a lot of good variety in here. And then another just kind of gifty, cute little thing is Let's Be Weird Together.
Oh, yeah.
Which is by Brooke Barker and Boaz Frankel. You might recognize this art style. Brooke's Sad Animal Facts is like a pretty popular Instagram account that there's also books associated with that. But this is a book by Brooke and her partner Boaz, and they made this book about being, when you're in a relationship, things get real weird real fast. Like you're each other's little universe, and so you get weird. So I thought it was very funny that this book came out at the beginning of 2020, prior to everyone being stuck in their homes. So I think, if there are couples out there, or even roommates, people who love each other, living together, things have probably only gotten weirder over the past 12 months. So this book is really cute, little, it has fun facts about relationships and, funny little comics, and it's just very cute. And it has stickers in the back. Actually, no, they're not even stickers. They're temporary tattoos. So how can you say no? Yeah, so those are my next 2 stocking stuffer recommendations. Any other thoughts, you guys? Like,
one other thing I forgot to say. I've noticed that people have started buying travel books again. I made a comment about we're not traveling, so we moved our travel books. But people actually are starting to buy travel books again, and I think people are dreaming.
Yes.
So if you have someone who has always enjoyed travel, that might be another gift idea, is to give them something to kind of drool over for the next time they want to travel. We have both travel guides and travel writing books. Mm-hmm. So books where other people talk about their adventures. So that would be another nice gift idea for the right person.
Mm-hmm. And I also would say that whether or not full travel, like on a plane to another country, is in your future, we have a lot of books about like road trips and like camping and outdoor activities. And because of everything that's happened this year, I think even more of those types of books have become available and are becoming available. But even right now in the store, a lot of the stuff in our United States travel section is like, here are some great drives, here are some great walks, here, a lot of cool stuff like hiking near the Twin Cities, that kind of thing. So definitely keeping in mind all the ways that you can still plan something fun and bring some variety to your day-to-day. Definitely all of that is still possible. And sometimes all it takes is just like a little inspiration from a book with a good idea.
Yep.
I also would like to mention, the mother of all last minute gifts, which is gift cards. We have them if you're shopping in the store and think the person you are shopping for would also like to be shopping in the store. We have those gift cards, so you can call us or come in and we'll get that kind of gift card to you. There are also just website gift cards. So if you, again, go to majorsandquinn.com, there is a button right across the top that says gift. Click on that, and that allows you to send a gift certificate to anyone's email address of your choosing. You can leave a gift message so they know what it is and who it's from, and that's can be used for anything on our website at any time. So those are some of our super last minute ideas for you. Any last thoughts, you guys?
Oh, I have a good one.
Yeah.
So quick plug for this last book. If you are gifting someone who likes romance, likes graphic novels, likes YA, likes all three. You want to get them something new they probably haven't seen before. Consider Heartstopper by Alice Oseman.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like romance, and also this is the cutest thing I've ever read. It's really, really cute. It is this character coming out of sort of an abusive relationship and falling for the jock at his high school. Totally thinks he doesn't have a chance. They both think they don't have a chance with each other, and the whole time you're like, oh my god, you guys are totally in love. Reading it kind of just feels like having a crush in high school, but like if everything went right. And it also it goes into the politics of gay dating in high school, and it does deal with like both healthy and abusive relationships very well and very honestly. Technically, it's a young adult graphic novel. I would say you can be a little younger or much older to read it. Yeah, so if you got somebody who likes romance, you're trying something new, try Heartstopper.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, we have not talked, we could do a whole other session of these maybe in the new year about graphic novels. And especially with graphic novels for younger readers, that's like a category that's exploded over the past few years. And the graphic novels for adults market is also like, there's some really, really good stuff out there that some people, would really like, but they just don't know about it. So Heartstopper, give it a try. Well, thank you both for sharing those wonderful picks and your festive backgrounds with us. Love that. And thank you everyone who's watching. One of whom is my mom, so I couldn't really say anything about what I actually bought for people this year. There are things in the mail to my parents right now. Also couldn't talk about what I bought for my boyfriend because he's right here. So I kind of, these are all things you should buy for people. These are not things that I did buy. Right, keep it a surprise. So again, the moral of the story is if you're having a last minute gift crisis, the best thing to do is ask an independent bookseller. So go to our website, give us a call, or stop by. We're here to help. And we want you to have a safe and happy holiday full of books and puzzles and games. All right. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season and new year. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.